Moccasins are everywhere, on everybody's feet. I'm Rob.
And my name is Frank. The word moccasin comes from the Cree or Algonquian word moccasina, meaning shoes or footwear. American Indians originally made their moccasins from soft leather that they stitched together with sinew. And although they were fairly similar, moccasin patterns did vary from tribe to tribe. Indians were often able to tell each other's tribal affiliation just by looking at each other's moccasins. Those differences didn't only include the cut of the moccasin, but also the beadwork, quillwork, and painted designs many of the Indians lavished on their shoes.
Differences between tribes often had to do with the climate in which tribes lived. Tribes would use hardened rawhide to increase the strength of the sole, whereas some may use rabbit fur or sheepskin to increase the warmth of their moccasins. Moccasin boots were often worn by Plains Indian women. These were basically thigh leggings stitched to their moccasins, creating a one-piece look. The Inuit people created mucklucks, which were heavy-duty boots made of sealskin, fur, and reindeer hide. These can be seen in Robert Flaherty's documentary film, The Nook of the North. Other tribes began using this style of shoe by trading with the Inuit, but they used caribou or buckskin instead.
Indians felt that moccasins were something to help them be close to the earth. They were not sacred, except for in some special ceremonies, but were rather very personal and important items for the owner. An interesting tradition of the Plains tribes was that any time a warrior would enter battle, he could only wear new moccasins. They did this to guarantee a safe return home for the warrior. If he were to die in battle or be severely hurt, the new moccasins would aid in his transition to the afterlife. This is just one instance where moccasins can be seen as a spiritual tool.
History.org states that in the 1750s, a French soldier wrote, "On their feet they wear a covering made of deerskin, scraped, robbed, and smoked, which by this process becomes as supple as tanned sheepskin. The women prepare the skin and make the shoes for the men and for themselves. These shoes are gathered at the toe and are sewn above and behind with a raised flap on either side. This is turned down over the cord below the ankle that ties the shoes. Often these folded edges, as well as the front and back of the shoes, are decorated with ribbon or dyed porcupine quills of various colors, with red predominating. Sometimes they add some glass beads and tiny copper bells, which are either round or long and trumpet shaped."
Moccasins also show the interaction between Native American design traditions and imported materials. Adding imported silk ribbon, metal bells or cones, glass beads, and metallic braids created this moccasin. This is an awesome example of the influence of European products. Indian uses of imported materials on their moccasins can be viewed as an anomaly because they used materials brought by the Europeans, but they did not adopt European-style footwear.
Moccasins have also made their way into the fashion of American people, and in many different styles. Both hard-soled and soft-soled are made by many white-owned shoe companies for mass production. The muckluck style of Native American moccasins has increased in popularity lately. An example of this adaptation can be seen in the widely popular UGG shoe. Moccasins have been a piece of Native culture long before the arrival of Europeans. Their use by American people has kept this aspect of Native culture alive. However, the fact that moccasins originated among Native Americans has been taken for granted. We hope that this presentation enlightens others in their use of moccasins.
Well, hello, old friend. The night is